We're drawing randomly generated NPCs, and the humor will be quite Dryad. We're drawing a Dryad here on My Sketchy Habit. Hello, my name's Patrick, and this is My Sketchy Habit, where we draw every day and we don't have to be ashamed. That's right, we're an art positive community. We have a Discord you can join the Discord down below. We like to talk art. We're an art positive community. We would love for you to be there. For now, we are drawing a randomly generated NPC, and it's going to turn out real great. The first thing we have to do is roll some dice on our wonderful sheet. We'll get to that first, and then we'll get to the art. Can't wait to show you. And with that, we've got the details of our NPC character: a Dryad Butcher, a thinker with a feather motif, and a pig pet. Now, I'm going to be honest, I forgot the pig. And I had to pick very late in the drawing. But for now, we're going to be really focusing on trying to get that Dryad form together and that butcher and those feathers in there. Now, a Dryad is an odd thing to draw, right? Depending on your lore, they're going to be very humanoid, but with a lot of green. They're going to be maybe wooden in nature. There's a lot of choices to make here. So I went and found some references to look at, to think through things. I also went looking for flowy dresses on the internet, just to see what I could find to inspire me for what this dress could look like, using sort of modern fashion conventions with this sort of greeny, leafy motif that you would see in a Dryad normally. But of course, we also got to add feathers. So right now, all we're doing is trying to build in the pose of our figure so we can build on top of it the details we want to build in. Once we have that, which we do now, I go in with another layer to start detailing in what the face might look like and how these ideas might come together. Now, I'm going to be honest, I struggled with this face for a long time. And in fact, at a certain point, I move on because it just isn't quite working the way I want it to work. And you know what? That is art. You sometimes have things that you're working on and they're not working for you, and it's sometimes good to push in and keep trying. Sometimes it's good to walk away or work on something else and come back. Sometimes you can do that within a project, right? Move over, as I do here, to some of the clothing, which again I start to struggle with, because how do you put a butcher's apron on a Dryad in this particular pose where we have this sort of open dress with a very turned body? I'm putting a lot of challenges in front of me for this image, but you know what? Sometimes it's good to do that for your art. And so I'm just trying to mess around here. I think I end up deciding that like the top part of the apron doesn't really help the form of this particular image, and so let's just do away with that and have the lower part of the apron. I also just move the head over, which becomes a really sad thing because it just sort of lives there for quite some time. Well into the line art, the other head that I drew just sort of floats and looks at this other person being made. As you can see now, I've returned back to the face, and I'm trying to put this headband on. I originally thought it would be like, you know, like a butcher might have like a sweatband around them, trying to keep, you know, hygienic, to keep hair out of the way. That's what I originally thought, but then I was like, nah, it doesn't really work. It's not as cool as I want it to be, and I'm not leaning well enough into this butcher idea. I mean, what would a Dryad butcher, right? Like, would it be plants? No. Would it be animals? No. So I'm not going to think about it much harder than that, except to say that, you know, they've got an apron, and you might see they have a weapon that ties to a butcher as well. We're back to the face, trying our best. Time and time again, we're erasing and trying to make things work. And you know what? That's just art, baby. You know, some days you got it, some days you don't. Some days it takes a long time, sometimes it doesn't. And that's just par for the course. Let me encourage you, if some days you feel like you can't draw and you've never drawn and you'll never will draw again, you can get over it. Life will move forward. Give it some time. Take a deep breath. Touch some grass, as this Dryad might recommend. And, you know, be kind to yourself. You are a better artist than you probably think. And it's okay to struggle. It's just par for the course. Speaking of struggling, we've got this wonderful butcher cleaver being put in here. This is the other place that I incorporated butcher because, like, I didn't know what I was doing in the end. And now it's time to get some feather motif on here. We've got the very basic sense of our character, and now we're going to sort of build up these very artistic feathery things. Now, I don't know if these are like the best things in the world. I'm working really hard as an artist on how to add detail to my pieces and where to add detail. And, you know, it's a whole world of thought, right? Like, what's too much? What's not enough? Where does detail add to it? Where does detail take away and become distracting? And so I'm just testing the waters with some of these things. I also thought it'd be really fun once we get these sort of feathered adornments all over this character to sort of have like a trail of feathers that sort of magically flows from their garb. You'll see more in the line art. It's game time! That's right, and we're playing silhouettes this week with Pokemon silhouettes. We have Trubbish. We're going to take their silhouette words. Silhouette and make it something else. Let's find out what it is. And here we go with our line art. So we've got this very basic form. We've also got that sad face floating on the side. Look, stuff happens. And now it's time to get in here and start adding detail. And the final details of our line. So you can see here, I'm working on this face shape, trying to just sort of cement it, as well as building in the hair. Trying to give it a little bit more detail than our base sketch had. And this is, again, that interplay between sketch and line art, right? Our sketch has given us a foundation that we can now sort of play a little bit on, and I'm really excited to do that for this piece. I'm very happy with how it's turning out. I think, you know, we've got the pieces of our picture, except the pig. Again, pig will be coming. I made a mistake, I forgot it. It will come. But yeah, it is certainly coming together in a wonderful and fantastic way. And so yeah, we're just playing with some of our lines here. We know what we want to be in the picture. We just have to decide how they come together. This brooch sort of thing in the middle of their chest is a bit complicated because of the angle and the turn, sort of in and around. But you know, how do we draw those lines? I don't really know. We just try, and once we're happy with something that looks sort of okay, we just run with it, right? That's the way to do it, especially on a piece that you're not sure about. Sometimes you have to just keep the ball moving in order to get yourself to the next place, right? And for this one, we kept the ball moving, and we come in and do some line work at the end where we thicken up some lines and really help to capture a better version of what we have there now. But for the most part, we've got the details in here that we want, right? I'm moving this butcher's cleaver a little bit, making it a little bit shorter because I think it was a bit like violent and menacing in the last one. I want it to be more subtle and menacing, as if they just sort of roam through this forest with a butcher's cleaver, butchering people. I don't know. I think we're just about at the end of our line art here. We're going to be saying goodbye to the sad face and moving on to the color. Can't wait to show you. It's time for the dad joke, bad joke. My dad sends me a joke every single day in WhatsApp, and I like to collect them all up and send them back to you. And today we've got this lovely little joke. What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. I don't know, and I don't care. What's the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. Yep. That's the dad joke, bad joke. Let's get back to the art. And yeah, you know, when you're drawing a dryad, there are some colors that just seem natural. Green and orange particularly seem like a fun combo. And so we've got this very pale green skin. And I wanted to emphasize this apron on the front, so I gave her some dark flowing outfit with this green train and this other green train that are, you know, in there somehow layered. I don't really know. Don't tell anyone. We just draw lines and hope for the best. If I had to draw them from another angle, I don't know if I could, but that's not the project we're working on right now, thankfully. We'd have to make some decisions at that point. Maybe it's just like draped with the light green, two light green pieces, and then like one big long green piece. Anyways, we're drawing more colors on here. Try to go with sort of this bluey, unnatural color for the feathers, so that'd be a lot of fun. We're gonna get some shadows in here, and of course we're gonna get some highlights as well. And then this is the moment where I realize, oops, I forgot to include the pig. I went back to look at my next image that I needed to draw once the whole thing was done, and I was like, oh, wait a second. This is like a pig-based thing. One of the 5 things we rolled was they have a pet pig. And so I realized I needed to get back into it and draw for us a pig. Let me give you a nice speed draw of that pig, and we'll be back with the final reveal in just a minute. And that is it for our Butcher Dryad. I really didn't know what to do with the Butcher element, but I think I got a little bit in there. Definitely the cool feathers and all the things. I didn't name this character, so if you have an idea for the name of this character, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you like this kind of thing, also let me know so I do more like it in the future. Don't forget, enough about my art. I'd love to share your art as well. We have an art gallery. It looks like this. I take art from the Discord in the Share Your Art section, and I put it here on screen. I would love to see your art, and if you want to see your art up here, join the Discord down below. Even if you don't want your art to be up there, we're an art-positive community, and we just love encouraging people to make and create and do cool things. We also have a month-long sheet of inspirations, just something to percolate the brain if you're looking for something to draw or make. This month it's a video game theme. Yesterday our word was enemy, and I drew this more realistic Goomba-esque thing. He's a bit of a creepy guy, but I like him nonetheless. We also have one new word for today, and that word is power-up. What's your power-up going to be? I'd love to see what you come up with that. We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. Join the Discord down below. Be a part of the Art Positive community. Become a member of the Doodle Croodle and show us what you can doodle do. And that would be fantastic. For now, we've arrived at the end of our video for today, and all that remains is one thing. One simple thing. To go over the one rule of my sketchy habit, which is really our sketchy habit, which is this. Don't tell anyone about our sketchy habit. That's between you and me. Thanks for being here, friends. Till next time, keep being awesome. Bye!